My brother and I, first off, we needed to stop the show. We knew it was time.
You chose to stop it?
Yes, my brother and I actually quit off of Disney Channel. We quit, one because it had been 6 years. And we thought that the glory days of the show were definitely when we were in the younger series. And so we stopped it then, but also for another reason, my brother and I wanted to become producers for the show. So we were trying to get the writing credits for one more season before we went to college. See, because Cole and I actually deferred a year before we came here. And what we wanted to do during that year was film one last season where we wrote this all ourselves. We have everything out laid on the table, and we went up to them and we said, well, let's do one. If we're going to do one last season, it's going to be on our terms. We're going to produce it, and it'll be a setup for a new show. So what it would be is that Zach and Cody would leave the boat, and they would go back to live in Boston at the hotel in the downtime between when they would go to college, if they did, and between, after leaving the boat. So there'd be a year of time there. And Cody would apply to college, and Zach would apply to college too, and we'd live with our mom again in the hotel. And during our stay at the hotel, things would have been changed, and it would kind of show this progression of time, what's happened in the meantime, how long have we actually been away, what has changed at the hotel, and, I believe in the show. Mr. Tipton went bankrupt. And so how that would affect the show. And during then, there would be this little boy who lived with his single dad there. And Cole and I, while we were preparing for college, would kind of raise this boy up as a little brother. So what we do would be we'd show him all the crazy stuff in the hotel. We would, lead him into all these wacky situations. We'd basically start the show again, but with this one kid. And what it would do is that after that, Cody would go to college. Zach, who would not get into college, would go to work in business, and a used car dealership, I believe, is what we were thinking, to show that kids can be successful no matter what they choose. They could either be, successful going to college and getting an education, or they could be successful starting a fiscal life, just really starting right off the bat. And then the show could go in any direction with this kid that they wanted. So what Cole and I wanted, the reason we wanted to do that too was because it would also set up all the cast and crew we've worked with for 6 years. So they would not lose their jobs in our decision to go to college in real life. And so they would continue to work, and we would also be making money off the producership. They told us no to that idea. So that was kind of a big part of the decision, because they didn't trust us enough after all this time. And then like a week or two later, they came back to us and they're like, all right, well, we said no to your idea. Let us pitch you our idea that we came up with and for the next season. So we sat down and we were like, all right, we'll hear you out. We're not really, Cole and I, ahead of time, we were like, we don't want to do that. And previously, when we had pitched our idea, it was kind of this situation where they had almost laughed in our faces and pushed us out the door. And we were like, it was really disrespectful. So we're like, we'll hear them out, but only so far as we want. And so they sat us down. They're like, all right, here's our idea. You guys leave the boat. Zach goes to work in Miami with Cole. They both go, Zach and Cody go to Miami, right? They go to this hotel, okay? And Selena Gomez is there. This is the best part. And Selena Gomez is there, and there's this kid who has a single dad, right? And you guys raise him up like he's this prodigy of yours, and you can set up the show. You guys don't get producer credits, but then Zach would go to work in a used car dealership, and Cody would go to college. But all of this happens in the rapid-paced city of Miami. And they pitched us our idea in Miami with Selena Gomez. And Cole and I turned to each other, and we basically laughed in their face and walked out. And that was the last meeting we had with Disney.